Welcome to Greg's Maker Corner. In this video series, I'm going to be covering the BigTreeTech Octopus version 1.1 control board. And as a disclaimer, I do want to mention that BigTreeTech did send me this board for free. However, I do have to, do all the work to install it. I also had to buy the stepper drivers, so I'm pretty excited to test this board out. And one of the reasons I'm excited about it is because I really do want to install it on this Core XY machine that you see back here, and I'll walk through that in a minute. But with this BigTreeTech board, it's a lot more capable, has a lot more stepper driver ports, and I also plan to run Klipper on it. And the reason I want to run Klipper on it is because I want to run Input Shaper. And one of the reasons that I want to run Input Shaper is because I've got a pretty heavy extruder hot end here. You may recognize this, it's a E3D Hemera. So these are great extruders, but they're also very heavy, and you tend to see a lot of ringing or ghosting in prints. And this is Greg from the future. I just want to show you after installing the board and Klipper and Input Shaper. On the top of the picture here you can see all the ghosting, and on the bottom you can see the after effect where there's hardly any sign of ghosting. So I was very happy how this turned out, and just keep watching and you can see the rest of the series on how I do this. So I'm going to be installing this on the original Hypercube Evolution that I had built. You may recognize this. It was featured in my build series. However, it's no longer a Hypercube because I've converted it to Rails. So a couple things that I like about this, just first glance, is, all these are now on screw terminals for all the inputs. You've got the bed and the outputs for the bed. These are all screw terminals, which is good because those tend to be higher current, so I like that design. You've got looks like your hot end, so this will support up to 4 hot ends and 8 different stepper motors. There's also an Ethernet connection here. There is a USB, a couple different USBs. This one I think is probably for like a webcam or something. This is most likely to power it. And then you've got your SD card port here. There's also 2 15 amp fuses here, and another 15 amp fuse here, which that's really nice. Look like pretty decent quality components on here. And it's got an ARM chip. It's an STM32F4, so plenty of processing power, probably more than enough, especially if I'm going to be running Raspberry Pi and Klipper with it. And the silk screening on the back's pretty nice. From what I understand, some of the version 1 had some silk screening things, like for the voltage for the fans, that I believe was incorrect, but from what I understand, those have all been fixed in the version 1.1. There is some silk screening on the front, not as much though for these ports here. I probably would like to, they're really out of room here, but it would be nice to have some silk screening on the front just to see what you're plugging into. But if you flip over the board, it's pretty easy to tell. So a lot of the fan ports are here listed. I do like the female connectors here. So they're the kind where you can, the JST type where you plug them in and there's a little clip on the end. And then same thing with the motor connectors. Sometimes you find that they're just flat and they're using like maybe a straight Molex connector. There's also these expansion headers for your display. There's 2 side by side. And then you've got a heck of a lot of jumpers. And I think these jumpers are going to be used to configure your TMC drivers, and I'll get into that as far as what they need to be configured for UART mode. It looks like you can run either 5 volt or 12 volt off of these, and there's probably going to be a jumper based on what you want to run, but that makes it nice for different fan options, right? So if you want to run maybe a 5 volt fan for I'm starting to see those more for hot ends, especially on like the Voron, or if you want to run a 12 volt. In terms of comparisons for the board size, I thought I would show a standard Creality V2 board, something you might find in like a Ender 3 or a CR10, compared to the BigTreeTech Octopus. So you can see it's the Octopus board, which you would expect is definitely a lot larger. The capacitors on board are very similar. It looks like they're the same spec. This board, of course, has no fuses like this one does. And then you've got the larger scale connectors. So probably for a Creality user, this is going to be a much bigger board that you're going to have to accommodate. So if you're running like an Ender 2, that's not necessarily going to be something you want to do, because where are you going to put it, right? Or an Ender 3 or any of those where you're maybe constrained by space.
But for something larger, like the Ender 5 Plus, you might be able to figure that out and fit this in there. I think the real sweet spot for this particular board is going to be maybe systems where, or 3D printers where, like the Voron 2.4, or potentially if you're going to run maybe a tool changer or maybe even an IDEX type machine, right? Because you're going to have the extra ports.